guys wait for me? Whoa, hey, you there. I'm Gorm. After 5 kingdoms came together to take the city of Gibeon, the Israelites fought to save the Gibeonites. As the battle waged on, God stopped the sun from going down until the Israelites got the victory. Today, you will learn that we can trust God to help us in extraordinary ways. Okay, I'll catch you later, everybody. Bye-bye.
Question. Can anyone do any fancy dribbling? Between the legs, around the body? And I have another question. How long does it take to take a shot in basketball? How long do you have if you were in college? How long would you have to take a shot if you were in the NBA? The Israelites were running out of time to save Gibeon and to win the battle. But God did something extraordinary. He stopped the clock. And sometimes God will do something and it's called ordinary. And some people can just say, oh, that's just a coincidence. But other times God does something extraordinary, which is considered to be a miracle. And that's something that no one else can explain at all. And it's not a bad thing to ask God for a miracle when we need it. God helped the Israelites win the battle, have the victory, and save their friends. We can pray for miracles too.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
Today we're talking about miracles. And some people say that the miracles no longer exist today. But I personally know of people who have had their prayers answered in some miraculous ways. And I want to share with you a true story that happened with our church. See, several years ago, we decided to dedicate our VBS mission money to a missionary who worked in another country. And this missionary did not know that we decided to raise money for him and his work. And when I called him to tell him about the exciting news of the large amount of money that we raised, the words that he told me that day still give me chills when I think about it. In fact, right now I have chills in my arm. See, he explained to me that several months before our VBS was ever held, they had decided that they needed to add on to their mission house, to their school. They wanted to make it bigger so they could accept more people. But the problem is they didn't have the money to do so. And they didn't know where the money was going to come from. But they knew that God would provide that money. And so they started building, knowing that somehow, some way, God would send them that money. Boys and girls, do you want to guess how much money they needed? It was the exact same amount that our VBS raised a few months later. We were an answer to their prayer. God worked the miracle through us. And boys and girls, I want you to know right now that sometimes God will do a miracle for you, and sometimes God will do a miracle for somebody else through you. But miracles still happen today. All you have to do is look.
Water Wars, the final battle. This game is played like the normal card game of war, except the winner of each round gets to dump a cup of water on the loser. The first to win 4 rounds gets to dump a pitcher of water on the other. Daniel, the first champion in our Water Wars battle, looks to reclaim the victory that eluded him the last time. Drew seeks to capitalize on his dominating performance from our last battle to propel him to another victory. Who will win? It's time to battle. Water Wars.
everyone. It is time to memorize our Bible verse for this 4-week series. And remember, once you have this verse memorized, send me a video by Facebook, text it to me, email it to me, show up on my front lawn, stop me somewhere in town, but recite this verse and you can win a box of cereal. And I've got a lot of boxes of cereal I need to get rid of. All right, well, let's jump into this verse. And of course, we have motions to help you remember the verse. And here's how it goes. It says, "Who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty. The Lord, mighty in battle." And that comes from the book of Psalms, chapter 24, verse 8. Memorize that verse, everybody.
Some trust in chariots and some in horses. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, yeah. Some trust in chariots and some in horses. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, yeah. All right, here we go. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. Yeah. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. Yeah. Some trust in chariots and some in horses. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, yeah. That's right. Some trust in chariots and some in horses. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, yeah. Here we go! We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. Yeah. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. Yeah. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. Oh yeah, yeah. We trust, that's right, in the name of the Lord our God. Oh yeah. Hey. Alright, so I was talking to my son Brandon about this verse, and we decided we don't know a lot of people that roll around on chariots. So he said, wait, what does this verse look like today? Here's what we came up with. Some trust in money, and some in fame. Some trust in money, and some in fame, oh yeah. Some trust in money, and some in fame. Some trust in money, and some in fame, oh yeah. All right, you guys, but what about us? Hey! We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. Yeah. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust in the name of the Lord our God. We trust
nothing more thrilling in sports than trying to watch a team win the game at the last second. Whether it's Russell Wilson leading the Seahawks on a game-winning drive, or Russell Westbrook trying to get off a last-second three-point shot, it puts you on the edge of your seat. There's only seconds to go, and once those seconds are gone, the game is over. Perhaps the greatest ending to a game ever came during the 1992 NCAA basketball tournament. See, Kentucky had the lead with 1.9 seconds left on the clock. Duke had to take the ball all the way down to the other side of the court and score with less than 2 seconds left. Christian Laettner, Duke's star player, caught a long cross-court pass. He had just enough time to turn, to dribble, and to shoot, and the buzzer went off. The shot went in. Duke fans cheered like crazy, and Kentucky, well, they don't like to talk about it much. Had Laettner missed that shot, we wouldn't remember that game. It would have been just like any other game where so many heroes missed the last-second shot. See, we remember people like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan for their game-winning shots. But both Kobe and Michael had plenty of games where they took the last-second shot and they missed and then they lost. But what if the clock hadn't run down? What if by some miracle they had an extra second or two? Now I know that wouldn't have been fair, but it would have given them a few more seconds to think, to get a little bit closer, and to take the best possible shot. Now that certainly would be an advantage, wouldn't it? Well, in today's scripture, the Israelites were engaged in a heated battle. Now, there were no game clocks on the battlefield, of course, but nighttime was coming and time was running out. And then God stepped in and did something amazing. Check out this incredible story from the book of Joshua, chapter 10, verse 1 to 14.
Adonizedek was the king of Jerusalem. He heard that Joshua had captured Ai. He found out that the city had been set apart to the Lord in a special way to be destroyed. He heard that Joshua had done to Ai and its king the same thing he had done to Jericho and its king. Adonizedek heard that the people of Gibeon had made a peace treaty with Israel. He also found out that they were living among the Israelites. The things he heard alarmed him and his people very much. That's because Gibeon was an important city. It was like one of the royal cities. It was larger than Ai. All its men were good soldiers. So Adonizedek, the king of Jerusalem, made an appeal to Hoam, the king of Hebron. He appealed to Piram, the king of Jarmuth. He appealed to Japhia, the king of Lachish. He also made an appeal to Deber, the king of Eglon. Come up and help me attack Gibeon, he said. Its people had made peace with Joshua and the Israelites. Then the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon gathered their armies together. Those 5 Amorite kings moved all their troops into position to fight against Gibeon. Then they attacked it. Joshua was in the camp at Gilgal. The people of Gibeon sent a message to him there. They said, "Don't desert us, we serve you. Come up to us quickly, save us, help us. All the Amorite kings from the central hill country have gathered their armies together to fight against us." So Joshua marched from Gilgal with his whole army. The Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them. I have handed them over to you. Not one of them will be able to fight against you and win." Joshua marched all night from Gilgal. He took the Amorite armies by surprise. The Lord threw them into a panic as Israel marched toward them. Then Joshua and the Israelites won a complete victory over them at Gibeon. The Israelites chased them along the road that goes up to Beth Horon. They struck them down all the way to Azekah and Makkedah. The Amorites tried to escape as Israel marched towards them. They ran down the road from Beth Horon to Azekah. Then the Lord threw large hailstones down on them. The hailstones killed more of them than the sword of the Israelites did. So the Lord gave the Amorites over to Israel. On that day Joshua spoke to the Lord while the Israelites were listening. He said, "Sun, stand still over Gibeon, and you, moon, stand still over the valley of Ajalon." So the sun stood still, the moon stopped. They did not move again until the nation won the battle over its enemies. You can read about it in the book of Jashar. The sun stopped in the middle of the sky. It didn't go down for a full day. There has never been a day like it before or since. It was day when the Lord listened to a mere human being. Surely the Lord was fighting for Israel.
In the Old Testament times, battles were fought during the day, and at night, everybody went back to camp, and they regrouped, and they got some rest, and they prepared for the next day. And letting the enemies of Israel go back to their camp at night would have given them a chance to get reorganized and come back stronger the next day. But God didn't give him the chance. See, when Joshua prayed, God answered with what we call a miracle. He made the sun stand still. the sun did not go down, which would have given the enemy some reprieve from battle. And as a result, the Israelites defeated them soundly. God taught the enemies of Israel a lesson, but he also teaches us a lesson too. When we are in extraordinary circumstances, God does the extraordinary. He answers in ways that can't be explained. He does it to show us and others that he is a truly powerful and loving God. Many people look at the stories in the Bible and they think of it as just stories. They don't believe in miracles like the sun standing still, or the flood, or the parting of the Red Sea. See, they can't explain it with reason or science, and so they simply write it off. Other people think, well, God just doesn't do that stuff anymore. Yeah, he spoke to people back then, but he doesn't do those kind of miracles today. But as you grow up and you grow in your faith, you're going to find out that both those statements are wrong. God did do miracles, and he still does miracles. God provides healing to the sick, to people with deadly illnesses that can't be treated with medicine. God provides money and other resources to people in need, to ministries that struggle to stay open, and to families who are just trying to get by. Sometimes God uses other people. Through prayer, he leads somebody to give a gift or to go and visit someone in need. When we make ourselves available, God can use us to be the miracle that somebody else needs. Sometimes, God just does things on his own. God speaks to an unbeliever or to a mean bully and he melts their hearts. He turns a mean person into a kinder person. He heals the sick. He does a modern day miracle. Someday, you are going to be faced with a problem that you can't solve on your own. And when that happens, it's time to pray. Pray to God to step in and to do a miracle. God still does miracles, and he works all things out for our good. Believe in God and believe in his miracles. Expect to see one, and you will. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you back here next week.